Brought to you by Penguin. Pathless Forest. The Quest to Save the World's Largest Flowers by Chris Thorogood. Read by Sebastian Humphreys. Acknowledgements. My heartfelt thanks go to Adrian Tobias, Pastor Malabrigo Jr., and the team from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, as well as the many foresters in the Philippines who showed me flowers that changed my world. Sincere thanks to Joko Witono of the Research Center for Biosystematics and Evolution, National Research and Innovation Agency of Indonesia, BRIN, and Deki Septian Andriki for the magical excursions in Indonesia, and to Deki's extended family for their hospitality. My thanks also to Sophie Masidawati and Mr. Ngatari for the remarkable propagation workshop in Bogor Botanic Garden, Java, and to Agus Susacha and colleagues at the Universitas Bengkulu, Sumatra, for the many thought-provoking discussions. I owe a debt of thanks to my excellent editor Keith Mansfield, who joined the adventures every step of the way from afar, and the whole supportive team at Penguin Random House. The trips to Indonesia were generously sponsored by the Helen Roll charity. A book's roots run deep, thanks to all my loved ones for encouraging me to do what makes me happy, and thank you Simon Hiscock for making me a botanist. As for my lodestars to Southeast Asia, the 8 species of Rafflesia that pushed me to the brink, any errors are down to them. Prologue. When we were 8, my friends and I talked about what we wanted to do when we grew up. Our ambitions ranged from athletics and zookeeping to flying to the moon. As we mapped our undetailed lives, I realized my own plans were a little unusual. I wanted to spend my life searching for the world's most extraordinary plants. At night, I would sit cross-legged on my bed poring over cherished dog-eared books. One had foxed, vanilla-scented pages depicting curious plants in a faraway land. It contained a black-and-white photograph of a curious flower growing in the rainforests of Southeast Asia. I can still picture it now. An astonishingly large, vaguely grotesque-looking pentagon, draped over the floor like a lumpy great starfish. This was the largest flower in the world, the book told me, spanning over 1 meter across. I was possessed by it and wanted to see one growing in the wild more than anything. Rafflesia had cast its spell on me. But Southeast Asia may as well have been the moon to me back then. There was no way in which I could see the plants that haunted me from the other side of the planet. So I conjured them up in a pretend rainforest behind my family's back garden. We lived next to an old cemetery, a place reclaimed by nature, where foxes skulked among fallen tombstones netted with ivy and briars. Here, I scrambled up yew trees and swung from the branches, pretending I was in the jungle. I made 3D replicas of exotic plants out of papier-mâché and clay, all carefully sculpted and painted. Then, in a wild corner of the cemetery, I staged a life-size Rafflesia model among the mossy branches and sat on a fallen gravestone staring at it. This was the closest I could get to an encounter with the world's most magnificent plant. My story put down roots there, in that quiet cemetery in southeast England. Today, I am a botanist. I work at the University of Oxford's Botanic Garden, and I have dedicated my life to studying the biology of extraordinary plants such as Rafflesia, getting to know them, revealing their secrets. First things first. Rafflesia is a parasite that steals its food from other plants, a thief. Parasitic plants make up about 1% of all flowering plants, and they're no aberration. In fact, they've evolved 12 times. They are all around us. Some abandoned photosynthesis and are completely dependent on other plants, their so-called hosts, for their existence. They have always intrigued me. Their curious, leafless forms and ghostly flowers.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?